Hey, story makers. Happy 2026. This is my multi-dimensional creator planner. I wanted to walk you through a quick review, flip through of it as I am beginning to test it out for myself and set up my annual goals and show you the color version. This is the standard print color version of my planner, and I'm also going to be updating as we go through the next quarter. Additional pages to create a premium planner. So if you want to check that out, it will be available on my Gumroad, which is Talina, the number 5.gumroad.com. And I'll put that link below in the description for you. So right now, I just wanted to set up my annual goals because it's already into the new year and I don't want to be too late. I already knew what my goals were, but testing out my planner, I want to fill it in and feel it out. So my first creative goal is the Willow Sisters series. It's a novel series of 6 books. The first quarter is going to be the first 3 books, and then the second will be the next 3 books, totaling 6. But for the whole year, yeah, my goal is to have 3 of those books written. And I'm also creating a universe which involves music and other things. Alongside that, I am creating the Story Makers courses, and in the process of making the teachable courses, I'll be also creating, I guess you could call it a podcast and YouTube series. So that will be on this channel as well. The TMC is my Talina Marie Creations pottery designs and basically anything arts and crafts that I want to do along with the pottery. But I did want to hone in and focus on how do I connect all of my arts together into one cohesive system, which temporarily would be me focusing on some products for the Willow Sisters universe and creating art around that. I also want to focus on increasing my social media following. Outside of Facebook, where I'm trying to keep it more personal, I am really trying to push my YouTube and my Instagram and potentially maybe a TikTok down the road, if not right away. So, yeah, I have a Pinterest as well. So I'll be working on those, mainly YouTube channels, and trying to get more subscribers. In the next section, here is business and income. And I pretty much realized that most of my sections here all were really the same thing for me because my creative goals are also my business goals. So again, I just was like kind of repeating information here, but this could be different each quarter, or um, for each person it would be different depending on, maybe you're doing creative things, but you have different things that are business related that aren't creative. So in my case, it all lines up. I have book 1 through 3 novel series, which I had mentioned before. So the Willow Sister series. And then I have the multi-dimensional planner, which I'm filling out right now as we speak. That's the standard version. So now my goal is to focus on the premium version and those additional pages. And then the W3P Masterclass under the Story Makers that I will be launching is still a work in progress. It's sort of a teachable.com course, but I'm also going to be creating the YouTube and podcast to push and advertise what it is and get people to, learn information, give away some information online to draw them into wanting to be a part of the course and learn more. And then, of course, the same idea, the pottery business and any other crafts where I come up with the new designs and products specifically for the Willow Sisters series. I was also thinking outside of the Willow Sisters that I might design some pieces as well for personal things that I love with plants. But I also have some Notion templates and systems that I've been creating and using for not only writing, but tracking my daily workflow. So I'll be working on those on the sides too. And one of those is called the Cycle of Oneness, which is sort of like an additional map for my story making that goes along with the 3 or 4 act structure and the story. What do you call it? The Save the Cat beats. And then I'm going to have my own beats added to that with the Cycle of Oneness that I've created. So that's something I'll share with you guys in the future. And then my personal growth. I just wanted to release some things that no longer serve me. Very much into physical, spiritual, and mental growth and improving my health and things like that. So I want to do muscle toning. I have already been walking. I want to keep up daily walking because that's been a little slacking on the holidays. I also want to improve my stamina, strengthen, and basically keep my habits up, drinking more water, eating more vegetables. It's hard to say no sugar, but I really need to cut out sugar. I also need to cut out gluten. Um, and maybe I don't cut it out, but I just want to make it to where it's not affecting my digestive system. I'm having some serious issues digesting foods that I've never had issues with before, including dairy. So I have to go on some diet experiments of like elimination and trying to eat more whole foods and healthy lifestyle. And then of course that would include meditating, time in nature, quiet time without, any noise. And it's really hard to get that sometimes. So just want to manifest my desires easily this year and focus on these habits that will help me get there. And then I realized that a part of what I was answering in my personal growth was a part of my well-being and lifestyle as well. So I just kept adding to it. I want to have a nice cleaning system in place to keep me up to date on my chores that seem to stack up like the dishes in my sink. I'm sure you guys can relate. Seeing those with laundry loads, trying to really not turn my kids into slaves, but help them be more self-sufficient and teach them skills as I homeschool them to be more helpful around the house and feel like they're a part of the family and the system where, if they do decide to move out anytime soon, probably not, but if they do, they know how to do their own laundry and clean their own dishes and be successful at self-sufficiency and feeling good and independent and like they're contributing to society. So hopefully by doing that, that'll help me get more chores done, but I don't like to overload them because they are young. However, each their own. Some people and kids may love cleaning. Mine do not though. So yeah, I'll have to work on my morning planning and journaling. It really just depends on if I get up early enough where the kids are still sleeping that I can get that quiet time. I tend to do that like during my breakfast when everyone's sleeping. So keeping that up, working on positive thoughts and feelings. And then when I have the bad ones, just going through it, getting through it and accepting everything as is and not trying to be perfect all the time. And, you know, that, that's a spiritual growth thing. But yeah, I'm just working on a lot of these things this year, ongoing. Sometimes I feel like I repeat myself every year with the same similar goals, but implementing plans and habit trackers to do that will actually help me get that done. And that's part of why I'm developing my own plan. Not only do I have other planners that I've used that have been helping me, I kind of just felt this need to create my own and really personalize it to my needs. So that is a work in progress. It's going to be the premium planner that I'm talking about where I have these additional pages, and because there's going to be so many pages, I'm going to have to do them in quarterly binders. And that's fine. I've always done that anyway. I've used the HB90 system for a while by Heart Breathings, and that's a quarterly planner. So this is a yearly planner that I'm doing, but I do have to separate it quarterly. So I'll show you guys that in a future video where I actually start creating the pages I need for that premium planner and how I'm setting them up and, what my goals are going to be as well. So this particular page is the next annual page. It's called Annual Financial Goals. This is a a tough spot for me because sometimes people don't want to display how much they're making or if they're making anything at all. I personally don't feel comfortable talking about those things because I have a soft spot for um, financial blockages or feeling that way. And sometimes I'll say things that I'm like, oh man, my words are so powerful. I'm causing that by saying it. So I get some issues around planning my financial income. Sometimes I feel like I don't deserve the money. Sometimes I feel like I'm overly abundant and it's not about just money. It's about people and friends and family and things in my life, like the roof over my head and plenty of food. And when I need something, I don't always need money. Someone will just give me something I need. So I'm trying to think of abundance in a better way, but I do also need to structure, okay, how much money would I like to work, assuming that I had a job, right? And I have to start thinking of my creative work as a job, but luckily it's more of a creative endeavor that I can enjoy. And I don't really want to call it a job. It's more of a business, personal business. So I can wake up and know, wow, like if I had to pay the mortgage, I would need this much and my business is making this much. And right now it's kind of been random and all over the place. And depending on how my health has been and not really knowing how to put perfect systems in place or have any systems at all. I've been doing in-person sales. I've been doing different events here and there, but nothing consistent and nothing that's systematic and guaranteed. So this is going to help me plan out what I need to do to make a consistent income. And the system in place would be things like, well, I was attempting Etsy, but in this case, I'm having technical issues not only with Etsy, but also Facebook ads due to some hacker issues in the past. So I cannot place Facebook ads. I cannot get my Etsy account approved because of some weird issue where there's when you're setting up the account with your social security and your name. But long story short, I have to learn to move past that, and whether or not that those issues get resolved, I have to be strong and say, hey, I don't need those platforms. So I have been working on basically trying to get past these blocks of financial success and stick to what I have now called Gumroad as a starting point. So I've listed my planners on Gumroad, and my link that they gave me was Talina5, like TALINA, the number 5.gumroad.com. And originally I just had I had the black and white up, and then a few days later I got the color planner up. So those are the standards that are now online on my Gumroad link. And with Gumroad, it's like you can sell without any fees monthly, and they just take a percentage. I think it's like 10% of each sale. So that's a good starting point for me since I can't access Etsy or want to spend the money it would cost to have like my own website with a Shopify, for example. So my goal is to just use Gumroad until I get enough income from the planners that I can then decide how to move forward. And if Etsy does resolve itself, I'll probably do that as well. But I don't want to rely on anything. I think it's good to have your own systems in place. So yeah, my first system of financial income is to create this planner, release it for you guys to use, and that can be my first generating income digital product, I guess you would say. So here I had listed my first planner for $33. That was the black and white version, but I had it on sale. And today is actually, I think the sale ended. It ended yesterday on the 3rd. So now, instead of being on the sale price for New Year's, it is now $33 for the black and white. And then I also have the color planner that is listed. I think it's a little bit more. Trying to remember the price there. I think I might be saying it backwards. I think the black and white is 22. Yeah, so I said that backwards, or I wrote it backwards, but on here, the $33 planner is the color, and the $22 sale, the black and white one, is now $27. So sorry for that confusion. I'm still trying to figure it out. I've been juggling what prices to charge for each one, and there's so many different versions, and they're being listed for different prices based on what they have in them. So yeah, we've got the color for 33 and the black and white for 27, which is my first time that I can actually say, wow, I have a product and a system in place to sell these online. And usually I've had systems in place for like doing vending events or, selling in person. But this is my first like online setup aside from like selling my book on Amazon KDP, which I forgot to list here. That is another outlet that I have that I can add later where I'm selling my books on KDP. And let's see, launches and offerings. I filled out that section with my book 1 through book 3. I will be launching those on Amazon as well. And I also list them on my personal website. Additionally, I offer autographed books if people are interested in that for a little bit more because I have to pay for the shipping. What else did I see here? I wrote down video, audio. It's hard to see when I'm recording a voiceover because the screen is small and my eyes are going bad. I wish I can zoom in on the video to read my handwriting. But here down in the savings and financial wellness, I want to put money aside from the income that I do create so that in the future I can consider an audiobook and any other things I might need, like book covers or even placing ads, anything that might be beneficial to put back into my business. Here's the next page for annual reflections and alignment. And this is where I just talked about what I did in 2025 and how everything felt and how I can make it better. So here I wrote down not enough structure or scheduling wealth. So yeah, again, that's having all these creative outlets where I'm creating and creating. I literally have stacks of shelves of pottery that isn't sold, and I just don't have systems in place to make money with those things that I've worked so hard on. And the same thing with my books. I have a book that's been published since like 2019, and I just never advertised it and never put a system in place thanks to COVID. And that's not an excuse. There's other reasons behind it, but it was just really bad timing release, and I never pushed the marketing. And now I have a new plan to go ahead and create this new series that I'm writing and to also promote and advertise my backlist of that first story as well. So systems are going to be in place. 2025 was emotional, to say the least. So I needed to release some things at the end of this year and really work on improving my emotional responses and to pause before I react and things like that, and to have more faith and not have certain belief systems in place that stop me from gaining or reaching my goals. So yeah, that includes bad relationships and or fear of anything, fear of succeeding, fear of nobody seeing my channels or listening to my music or reading my books, and not knowing how to beat the algorithm. All these negative thoughts that I keep having that I'm sure some of you who are like me relate to. I'm just going to keep creating for the love of it and do what brings me joy and share it with you. And hopefully it resonates with you and it helps you. And by helping you, it will help me, and hopefully my views will get better and you guys will subscribe and share this with other people. And yeah, that's my goals, is to get rid of those negative thoughts. So here I was kind of skipping around. I realized that part of what I was answering in the first section was actually the answer to what I needed to release. So I already had answered that in the first section. And then what to strengthen or to invite into the new year. Again, I am using a lot of new tools that are AI related. So I am learning that education is definitely something I enjoy. Always listening to YouTube and learning from there, and then also other courses. So I am learning Midjourney, Suno. I work with ChatGPT as an assistant, and I am using a new platform called CreatorWoodTV.tv, which I'm a beta tester for. So I need to get into that more and try to learn AI video making. And there's a couple others that I listed there that I didn't get to, but basically I'm just working on improving my technical skills and my software skills with new things. This is the quarter one vision and goals. And the top priorities for this quarter section, I basically am just going to be repeating myself, but working on the premium planner this particular quarter. So I really want to focus on that, because as I'm planning each week, I'm going to be designing each page that I might be missing that I need in this planner. And luckily, I've already planned out my projects and my tasks, and I have sticky notes for a lot of them, and I already know what I'm doing. But in order to test out and design this planner further, I have to kind of treat it like I want to fill them out as I go and create them as I go. So I'm bringing you guys along for the journey of the creation of this planner and the pages that I'm making. And if they relate to you in your creative business endeavors, then, you might be interested in trying this and testing out my planner and giving me feedback as well. I really would appreciate that and love feedback, because anything I can do to make it better is a bonus. So I also am going to be working on book one, focusing on just the book one, getting the plot done and the final like rough draft of book one for the Willow Sisters, the Storymakers course, and my YouTube channels. And I have quite a few YouTube channels going on, but I'm focusing on this Storymakers channel and the Talina Damo author channel, and just kind of giving you guys behind the scenes and my progress of not only my writing, but like in this case, my business endeavors of being an entrepreneur and creating content on YouTube, and also creating planners and templates and systems for writing, and then also educating you guys on things I've gone through in the writing and filmmaking world. One of my YouTube channels I just recently started is an extension of the Willow Sisters universe, and it was inspired by that story. And it's called Lyratheum Studios, and I just focus on using AI to make instrumental and other music as well, but I'm a little hesitant on the lawsuit issues with Suno and AI music, and you can't really copyright that stuff. So there's some, drawbacks on that I'm waiting on to get resolved before I go ahead and just start posting lyrics online. So, and not only that, I want to keep the momentum of like the secrecy like they do in filmmaking, where I save the best for last. So those lyrics are going to be powerful and really relate to the story. And it might not mean anything to you guys if you haven't even read the story yet. So yeah, right now I'm just releasing ambient, location, and atmospheric type creative writing instrumentals is what I should say, and growing that channel that way. So that was the top priorities. Then below that, you'll see I have a creative focus, which again is like, it's all creative for me. It's so funny because I'm like, okay, I'm just kind of repeating myself here, but multidimensional. Oh, what did I write there? Films. Okay, so balancing and dedication to deadlines. I do not like making deadlines because I've always had setbacks or health issues or something that would keep me from getting my deadlines met. But it's good to have them anyways. And then just, okay, they didn't work out for whatever reason, but at least I try to keep deadlines just like a business would have deadlines to release a product. So I am working on trying to create using this planner, okay, I want to have books 1 through 3 released throughout the year, and try to set like, okay, maybe by quarter 2, I am working on the final edits and hopefully releasing book 1. But the thing is, I'm not actually releasing it. Okay, so let's just say completing it. And then I would move on to book 2 into quarter 2, and into quarter 3, I would be finishing up book 2. And then then I could go ahead and say, okay, I'm starting book 3, and now I'm moving into actually publishing book 1. And then there's a time release system that while I'm working on book 3, I'm slowly beginning to release books 1, 2, and then eventually book 3. Or I'm really patient and I say, hey, I might not actually release them, or maybe I wait till the end of the year if I can get them all written, finalized, and completed to go ahead and, not worry about, I need to finish writing book 3 while I'm publishing. I could just focus on publishing. So I have some things to think about in my planner that will adjust over the quarters, but we'll see how it goes and what I decide. This is the business tools section. I work with Adobe Premiere Pro, Photoshop, Canva, Midjourney, all these different software programs that I'm trying out that are new to me, and also, the usual suspects that I've used for years. For video editing, for the planner designing now, for writing my screenplays, for my novels, I use Scrivener. I have not used it yet, but I'm all set up and excited to try out Vellum to format my books this year. And I just, listed what I could think of. There's probably more. And there's probably some I can consider taking off the monthly fees of expenses. But for now, these things are very beneficial to my business and making them successful. So I'm going to keep them on the list, try them out, and then, process of elimination if needed down the road. However, sometimes you need tools. And right now, I really feel like ChatGPT has benefited me so much that I'm very excited to be using it. Here down below, there's a projects and tools, which is a continuation of some of the things I've already answered. So I had gone ahead and just added more, and pottery tools was one of them. Creating designs, And yeah, like I had mentioned earlier, making some personal pieces. I have a lot of orchids and certain plants that I try to do at home for meditational and the love of plants, and it just makes me happy. So I'm trying to have plants in my house and learning, like, oh, how do I take care of these orchids, and how do the roots need to be balanced in the water properly? And I was thinking about some pottery pieces I could make for that. It's totally unrelated to the Willow Sister series. However, it's okay. I can still be creative for myself sometimes outside of the universe that I'm creating. Doesn't always have to be connected. As long as I'm having fun, it's bringing me joy, and it could potentially bring me income. So it all works. Yeah, so projects and launches, behind the scenes, my how-to videos. This this is considered a how-to video, so it's a good example of the kind of videos I want to do, is showing you how I fill this planner out. I would do the same thing for all of my channels, whether it's how to write a book, or how to use this planner, or in case of my art, how to do this pottery. And I would walk you through step by step, things like that, and show you, me throwing a pottery piece on the wheel. This is the January overview. I have these review pages on each quarter at the end of each month. And this is the monthly goals. And basically, I know a lot of this is repetitive, but it really helps you hone in on what you're focusing on each month, each quarter, and then obviously for the year. So it helps you break things down and decide like what you need to do. So these are my monthly goals. Finish plotting book 1, create the new planner pages, and then, of course, the YouTube channels and the content that I need to create for that. Planning it, scheduling it, recording it, editing it, all those things have to be scheduled. So it's a lot. And I know that this seems repetitive, but it's really good because it really helps you understand how much you have to do, how you break it down. And then eventually I'm going to even be doing even more repetitive stuff because I have to talk about each project on its own page and then breaking it down into tasks. And there's so much detail that's needed in order for your projects to get done. So, yeah. And last but not least, I have the mastermind calls that I attend every week with my other writer friends. And then I have the Storymakers course, the podcast, and the YouTube channel where I'll be selling educational products. Then I have my top priorities here again, my projects, top projects. And again, I'm just repeating the Willow Sisters story, the universe, the Lyra Theme Studios, my YouTube channel, Talina Adamo, to promote my writing. And that's kind of a mix. I'm trying to focus it on my author tubing, but it's also has started out as filmmaking as a filmmaker, but I also screenwrite. So it's kind of a catch-all area where I'll be talking about everything I do, but really trying to focus in more on the stories themselves, and then kind of just using it as a, hey, guess what else I'm doing? Check out this other site when I launch different things. The story makers I have mostly going on there is the planner, getting that premium pages done, and then the course, the W3P masterclass. And one thing I didn't think of, because it didn't come to me until like days after I've done this video for you guys, that I actually can create an entire course just on how to use this planner system that I'm creating. Now, obviously, that's going to be a work in progress over time and probably not released till next year, because I have to develop it and design it and use it and make sure it's good before I release it. And then in that step after that, I could say, hey, look at this planner, walk you through it, show you the details of it, and then say, hey, if you really want to learn how to use this planner and set the system up in a way that's going to help you achieve your goals for your creative business and outlet, that'll be a course in itself. And I was like, wow, I did not even realize I had a complete course just in the planner itself. So that was really amazing thing. And I'm excited that this is now going to be also a course that you can sign up for and learn how to goal set and plan your life, especially if you're a multitasking, multi-dimensional planner like I am in the creative world. All right, so let's see what we got here. Content planning, music for the Willow Sisters is what Lyra Theme Studios is all about. The behind the scenes for Talina Adamo is mostly what I'll be focusing on, these types of videos. Let's see what else. Probably also promotional things for the story worlds. And then how-tos, educationals for the Storymakers channel that you guys are watching right now for Black Onyx Pro. I'll discuss again educational things on writing, filmmaking, planners, courses related to that. And then income goals. I do have a section where I didn't write it here. I was kind of hesitant, but I mean, it would be nice. So I kind of put 4 goals here. I started with minimal 10K, 20K, 30K, 40K. I mean, honestly, I'm just happy if I make a couple $100 getting started monthly. But I did write that I would love to make, 10,000 a month. And that's a really big goal. But, it might sound like a crazy thing that can't be done, but down the road, it might be like, I can't believe I'm making 100,000 a month. Wow. So I like to dream big. And although I didn't put it here, I just kind of was talking about what I was going to do to make money rather than the amounts. But yeah, it would be nice, even if it's just making 3 to 5 thousand a month. That's an income that I could be happy with. That can help contribute to the family until I get to those 10, 20, 30, 40 high hoping goals. This is the monthly layout. You can see the colorful. It's like a colorful cloud, stars, very very pretty layout. And I have these washi tapes that I put at the bottom of the pages for the monthly layouts that I pre-designed, how do you say this? I pre-decorated the planner before filming. So these are my Coffee Monster Co. stickers. She's an artist named Helen that has made these really pretty doodle type drawings of this character, and it's just become an amazing business for her. And they're so cute, and I cannot stop using them. I use them for my Hobonichi planner as well, and my like daily tasks. There's like a cute picture of like all the tasks I'm doing throughout the day where she has these little pictures of this character. I love it so much. It's childish and I love it. I love being um, playing with my inner child. So here, I don't know if you can see it because you're probably able to see it more zoomed in than I am. But from my memory, I was just scheduling when I plan to actually post to my YouTube channels for the month, since that's a major focus. So each day here, I just kind of fill in what my ideal days would be to post. And then I had to determine, okay, well, if I'm going to post on those days, I either have to decide if I'm going to actually create the content and edit the content and upload on those same days. And that's just my YouTube get it all done kind of schedule. Or if I'm creating everything on the day before and then scheduling, uploading, and scheduling future, premieres or just scheduling posts in general. So these are still up in the air as far as I don't do these things consistently. And my goal is to make it something consistent so that I can grow a bigger following, have a reach to people who are interested in the stuff that I'm sharing and would actually want to purchase my planner or actually want to read my book, and just trying to stay consistent and plan out these things and feel it out and not be too hard on myself. And as I discover what works best for me and my family and what schedule I need to do things and how much I can do without feeling overwhelmed, and maybe all these things that I'm thinking I can do might work for quarter 1, but then quarter 2 I might not feel as energized. So I just have to feel it out and rearrange things as needed. But it would be great if I could keep up this energy that I have of big dreams and literally working 6 days a week, what it feels like. So yeah, I'm probably gonna fast forward this. I just wanted you to see how my monthly layout looks, and we'll go from there. Okay, so now that I've had the entire month ideal schedule filled in and, well, almost filled in, again, keeping in mind that it may arrange differently as I test out my scheduling and how each day goes and each week progresses, and giving me that opportunity to, if I have to reprint things, I will. But even still, even if this doesn't go as planned, I would go into my weekly pages, which will be coming up next, and also optional daily pages. So this could be like the future plans, and then the weeklies could be as I go. And I may not even use the daily pages. I just have to feel things out. And this is, again, mostly just social media, but I also included days that I'm writing and doing other tasks that I need to do for the other goals that I have. And then scheduling days off for Sunday, that is a relaxation day I'm definitely going to need. And yeah, I'll show you guys the next pages for weekly as well. So stay tuned for the next video where I'll show you my weekly planning and how the system's working.